Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We heard earlier Chairman Schuster mention something about 45 members had a meeting with Secretary Chow. I would suggest that we invite her to meet with all members of this committee so we can have a collaborative effort and continue to be bipartisan in our effort to put forward transportation policy. Maybe then they wouldn't have the problems that they had with the health care bill if we're all engaged from the beginning. So I would just make that suggestion. Also, I'd like to acknowledge, and he's gone already, but Mr. Davis from Illinois, he brought out our bill that we worked together on and became an amendment to the FAST Act where we send more money to local government as opposed to the state for it to be distributed. I think we need to continue down that path because too often the politics in the state capitol around the DOT entities play a bigger part than good policy decisions. So the more we can send money to the local government, I think the better. I'd like to turn my attention a little bit, though, to another provision in the FAST Act that I worked on, and that was to have complete streets planning put into the bill. This is the first time this has ever been done in a federal transportation program. And I was very glad to see that in my district in Las Vegas. We've just had an increase in pedestrian deaths, and so having a policy that begins with the planning through the construction, through the operation of transportation that includes all users, I think is very beneficial. I know a number of states and local governments are incorporating that kind of safe streets planning, and I would like to ask you, Mayor Reed, under your leadership, I know Atlanta is kind of one of the stars in this area. Could you comment on the benefits of it, how it's working, some suggestions for other places to follow?
I think that it has worked well, and I think that it's connecting communities and contributing to a sense of community that people that created and developed the concept had in mind. It is what we thought it is when well executed. And so it is an approach that we're taking. It is a part of the reason that we had such success at the ballot when we went to voters for the 4 basis points for 4/10 of a penny during our recent referendum. Folks are asking for it, and it also gives a significant boost to businesses that are on complete street corridors. And so I think that the complete street approach is really bearing good fruit, and it is what we thought it was. And it needs to be pushed at every opportunity if you want your city or your community to be a leading one, because it's something people want when they're looking for a place to make a permanent home.
Thank you. I believe it's not just for safety, but quality of life. You see more people on bicycles now, more people walking, all kinds of uses besides just cars and buses. Mr. Patterson, would you talk about what some of the states are doing as they include this in their planning?
Well, I know several states are working on complete streets. In Oklahoma, we're partnering with the city of Oklahoma City for a new downtown boulevard that includes bike lanes, pedestrian paths, as well as a new driving lane. It is where I-40 used to go through downtown Oklahoma City, and we relocated I-40 to the south of downtown, and we're putting in a boulevard that has the complete streets concept to it.
And if we want to talk about businesses, we're seeing in downtown Las Vegas where they now have rent-a-bikes, and that's kind of part of that quality of living I was talking about. Would you like to comment on how it relates to businesses and improves that aspect of things? Anybody?
Well, I can tell you in Oklahoma City we have the rent-a-bike program going on there, and it's growing exponentially. We believe that once the new boulevard is in place, it will explode, much like you see here in Washington, D.C.
Mayor?
Our bike share program has been highly popular, and we're getting ready to expand it by 400%.
Yeah.
Congressman, I think the benefit, and you certainly are aware, is how all of the different modes of transportation work together in a single corridor, whether it be buses, bikes, pedestrians, automobiles. And that planning effort is what makes all that happen. And so often that planning effort is skipped and bypassed. So thank you very much for making sure that's been included in the FAST Act.
Thank you. I yield back.
Mr. Lowenthal.